Hey, what's going on, beautiful souls? This is Joseph, and today, let's talk about sacred geometry. So we're going to dive a little bit more deeper into what exactly sacred geometry is, because some of you are probably like, what the heck is he talking about? I have no idea what he's talking about. What's a geometry? I didn't pay attention in that class. Well, guess what? You get to pay attention to this one because it's very interesting. So, whenever you see a physical form, right, including the forms of sacred geometry, don't think of it as a solid or an inert structure. Always keep in mind that what stands behind this physical structure is the net, which is the vibrational matrix of energy that this form crystallized out of. Remember that the physical form can change immediately when the background energy matrix changes. So everything is energy. So sacred geometry patterns are crystallized forms showing us the invisible vibrational matrix, which is the higher reality. So this vibrational matrix is the net, which ancient traditions learned to master. So understanding that the solidity of physical matter is an illusion, so that it can change based on changing the vibrational matrix behind matter is the secret of all advanced energy healing and what we call today vibrational medicine. It is also the secret of all advanced spiritual activation of the human being. So these nets are energy grids, work on higher plane levels in addition to their work on the physical plane to create physical form. Now, modern physics has allowed materialism to restrict its understanding of this larger reality, so that modern materialism only sees energy manifesting at two levels, the electromagnetic and the physical levels. So one of the most popular models of these higher planes today is the seven planes model, which is from the Theosophical Society. So this plane is derived from the modern system of biogeometry developed by Dr. Ibrahim Karim in Cairo, Egypt. Now, Dr. Karim found the geometric shapes which connect in resonance to each plane, which makes possible very advanced work in testing or directing energy to these planes. So, working with higher planes along with the net of the vibrational matrix is a key secret of spiritual initiation. So this makes possible advanced applications in manifestation, prosperity, work, and materialization of energy and thought forms into physical reality. So it is all about knowing how to work with the patterns of energy which move from the higher planes of consciousness into vibrational matrices and the crystallize into physical manifestations. So modern materialistic science doesn't allow itself to consider any planes above the physical plane. It bans any discussion of metaphysics just as dogmatically as any fundamentalist religion, enforces the suppression of heretical ideas. Instead, modern science talks about dimensions rather than higher planes. So, modern advanced physics is full of higher dimensions. In fact, modern physics require the existence of many higher dimensions in order for the mathematics of quantum physics to work out. But despite these higher dimensions in physics equations, materialistic science continues to insist that this is simply a mathematical artifact and does not indicate the existence of any higher metaphysical realities. So to understand the basics of what dimensions are, as these have taken the place in physics today of the classical ideas of the higher planes of existence. Physics today teaches that our physical reality is literally a three-dimensional geometric grid comprised of the three axes, each at a 90-degree angle to the others. We start with 0 dimensions, which is a point, an energy center. In physics, it is connected to the idea of the singularity as the source of all creation. In spiritual terms, the 0-dimensional point is the gateway to the divine unity from which all polarity and manifestation emerges, which ancient traditions would call the divine plane. So the 0-dimensional point is literally the spiritual origin point from which physical space is created. To create the first dimension, the point moves parallel to listen, to create a line. The point then moves onto another axis, creating lines between the new point and the 2 previous points, making the simplest 2-dimensional straight line form the triangle. The point then moves on a new 90-degree axis, which creates not only new lines between the now 4 points, but also creates planes on all sides of this now 3-dimensional form. This makes the simplest straight line, 3-dimensional geometrical form, the tetrahedron. We have now moved from the point to the line, to the plane, to the solid, from 0 dimensions to 3 dimensions. Now if we move the point into another new axis, away from the existing 3 dimensionals of space, we then create a 4th dimensional object. We cannot see any aspect of 4th dimensional or higher forms because our human senses are based on perceiving our 3-dimensional world. However, it may be that our subtle organs of spiritual perception could perceive their higher dimensions or higher planes. This realization that beings with sense organs for only lower dimensions could only see fragments of higher dimensional objects was the basis for the concept of Flatland by Edwin Abbott.